The only bummer about week one being here is that summer's over. Now that summer's over, the only thing that's making that better is football is back, baby. And in today's video, we're going to be previewing the Detroit Lions week one game against the Los Angeles Rams. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how the Detroit Lions will beat the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. Week one, let's go, baby. Football's finally back. The Lions are finally back. It's time to rock and roll on our way to the Super Bowl. Now let's preview this game. Matthew Stafford's coming back into town. We all know the drama of Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. I'm glad that's not a huge storyline like it was going into that playoff game last year. And guess what? Kelly Stafford's not coming this year because she doesn't want to get booed and it's going to protect her mental health. Good for her. Take care of your mental health. And we're going to make sure Matthew Stafford's mental health is doing okay after the game, too, when we kick his you-know-what. Matthew Stafford's got weapons all on that offense. He's got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, two of the I'd say they're both top 10 wide receivers, maybe top 15 wide receivers if you want to say Cooper Kupp fell off a little bit last year, but they're both uber talented. It's going to be a challenge for Terrion Arnold. It's going to be a challenge for Ennis Rakestraw and Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson, but that's why we revamped that secondary, and that's why we got Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch back there. It's going to be good on good right there, and may the best man win, and we got to get pressure on Matthew Stafford, and this is what's kind of interesting. They're talking about moving Jonah Jackson to center. I don't know if they're still talking about that. That's what I was hearing earlier in the week. If they move Jonah Jackson to the center, that means their offensive line's a little banged up. If their offensive line's a little banged up, it's time for our defensive line to tee off on Matthew Stafford. Make him uncomfortable. Don't give him time to just sit there and sling it to Puka. Don't give him time to just let him sit there and sling it to Cooper Kupp or Tyler Higbee. And their running backs are going to be solid. Kyren Williams was a solid rookie last year, and now they drafted Blake Corum. Us Michigan fans know all about the Michigan legend Blake Corum. He's going to be a stud, and he's their starting kick returner. So we got to make sure we get down there and don't give Blake space, because if you give Blake space, he's fast and he's going to take off. That's the only thing. They got weapons all over their offense, but our defense is revamped, and it's time to make them punt a few times. We got to get off the field. Defensive line's got to get pressure on Matthew Stafford, and if Jonah Jackson's playing center, hopefully they have some miscues, and because Jonah Jackson never played center for us, and Jonah Jackson's on the injury report for the Los Angeles Rams. What's new? He's always banged up, always injured, and we got Zeitler for a lot cheaper than that. So I'm all for Zeitler over Jonah Jackson. That's why another reason I want to beat the Los Angeles Rams. But that's the matchup, man. We got to shut down Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, because we're going to be really good against the run, just like we were last year. I think our run defense is going to be real solid this year, but they do got studs back there. We can't give them run lanes, and Kyren Williams and Blake Corum. Now let's flip it over to the offensive side of the ball. The Rams defense no longer has Aaron Donald, which is huge. Aaron Donald was a Hall of Famer, and you always had to preview where Aaron Donald was on the snap. But they got the rookie, Jared Verse, who is very strong. If you've seen some highlights through him throughout camp, he's bullying grown men. So that's another person that Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell are going to have to manage. And they got Fiske, I think his name is. They got a solid young defensive line, solid young core. That defensive tackle that was wreaking havoc last year for them. And then yeah, they just got a solid defense. They got a solid team. They're one of the better NFC teams. They're going to be battling with the 49ers to win the NFC West. It's going to be a battle, and it's going to be a fun game on Sunday night. There's some storylines. Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit, but that was already solved last year. But this is so huge for the Detroit Lions to start 1-0. 1-0 sounds so much better than 0-1, and you're not digging yourself a hole. We got to be better at home. We got to defend the den better than we did last year. There were some games last year we kind of gave away. Seattle, if we don't lose to Seattle and we don't lose to Green Bay on Thanksgiving, we're probably the number 1 seed last year. Protect your home turf. Protect the den. That's what it's all about. If you start out 1-0 and then you got Tampa Bay, you can start out 2-0, and then you got the Cardinals starting out 3-0. And then you're rolling. Then you got Seattle, and then you just keep rolling. Starting out 0-1, then you kind of dig yourself into a little bit of a hole. Yes, we got a long season, but we can't have these high expectations of wanting to go to the Super Bowl and not start out 1-0. It is so huge to start out 1-0, and I firmly believe the Detroit Lions are going to take it to Matthew Stafford and the Rams on Sunday Night Football. It's time. The boys have been practicing hard. All that you've heard all season long is they want to go to the Super Bowl. And there's no doubt in my mind that Amon-Ra, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, all these guys that are talking about it are not just going to talk about it. They're going to put the work in to go to the Super Bowl. And that's what pumps me up. When you have an ultimate goal, Dan Campbell, even everything he said he achieves it. He works that hard to achieve it. He's not just a man. He doesn't just talk it. He walks it. And that's what's so huge about this Detroit Lions team. And that's what the difference has been in the last couple of years with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell taking over this Detroit Lions team. That's the culture. You walk, you back up your talk. You walk the walk. You talk the talk, you walk the walk. And that's what the Detroit Lions do, baby. It's time to start the season 1-0, one pride, signing out. Let me know what your game prediction is. Mine is the Detroit Lions are going to win 27-17, and the Detroit Lions are going to start the season 1-0. One pride, sending out. Comment down below what you think the score is going to be. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please keep helping this channel grow, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.